Welcome into SportBet Extra. I'm your host, Paul Rami, here every Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. Gonna be a shorter, smaller show today. There's not a lot of action today, as we've got two NBA games with NBA Cup going on, a lot of mid-level college basketball, not many ranked teams, not very exciting teams, but a lot of great spots that you can find in these games. So we've got that going on today. We'll recap yesterday, what happened as well with our plays, and then we'll see if we have a great gambling day over at SportBet Extra. So let's just get right into it. All right, per usual, let's put up the record there. So currently we are up now in December. Total of plus 23.08 units. October 21st. Since then, again, you're up $2,300 and just under about a month and a half. So there you go for anyone following along. NBA, we are 19-10. College basketball after yesterday's plays goes to 59-42. So yesterday we did have some action. Of course, Villanova, we talked about that one. Wasn't the best pick, obviously. I mean, I've talked about Michigan. Should have known there for that spot. Michigan is just a powerhouse, man. They look so good this year. So, man, watch out for them to make a run. That's going to be a tough team. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Gonzaga-Michigan rematch or something crazy like that in the Final Four or Elite Eight, whatever it may be. But that's going to be that's going to be a fun team to watch, Michigan for sure. So we had that loss yesterday, but we did have two winners. Rhode Island plus 2.5 there as they cover. We're finally on the right side of the hook on that one there. They lose by 2. And then Wyoming minus 14.5. They blew out South Dakota there. They ended up winning by 27, I believe was the final number. So that one was an easy winner there. So yesterday goes 2-1, bringing college basketball to 59-42 there. Again, no changes below that. MLB, NFL, and college football. We do not have any action, of course, in those three, so no changes there. So total plus 23.08 units, hitting at a 58% win rate. If you can show me someone else who's doing 58% consistently month and a half, I'd love to see him because it's not easy to do, especially if you're being transparent about it. Sure, you can lie about it and say, oh, yeah, I'm hitting 60%, 55%, whatever it is. But, everything's there on my website. All the plays are posted before the games. So if you want to get the action, go to sportbetextra.com. They're all there. And then I recap every day on those here on the show. And you'll always be able to see what the plays were. Those don't change. So go get you 7-day free trial there. 1 week, 1 month, 3-month packages available as well. So that we're at overall and with yesterday's plays. So December, like I talked about, we're looking to get on a little streak here. Yesterday was the start. Today we're going to continue it, and we're going to keep rolling. Let's start in the NBA Cup. Yesterday, a couple games. Magic there do move on in advance, even without Franz Wagner. They looked good. Miami, I just really couldn't score and defend at all there in the second half. And then below that, Knicks, of course, like we talked about that one as well, had no problem handling the Raptors. The Raptors have not been good without RJ Barrett there. Some Magic and Knicks are going to move on to play Saturday. And then on the other side of the bracket, you've got Thunder and Suns there. That's tonight. Thunder laying, I believe it's a 14.5 number there. It's just a big number. But it's nothing that to be surprised about because that's all they've been doing all season is winning and covering these large numbers. Devin Booker, game time decision. I mean, he's questionable, so we don't know if he's going to play. If he doesn't play, then, it's going to be really tough for the Suns there. You lose a lot of that scoring. For the Thunder, no major injuries. Yeah, Hartenstein is out, sure, but that's not going to be a deal breaker for them. So again, this one, wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder continue to just roll and win and cover. Would not surprise me at all if we see that there. And again, when we talked about, the Heat yesterday, I was high on the Heat. Obviously, they lose, but of course, that was a long shot there that we had for that NBA Cup. On to the next game in the West, Lakers and the Spurs there. Lakers are a 7.5-point favorite. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Of course, if you've got Luka back, you've got LeBron back. This whole team's kind of like running on all cylinders here. They look pretty good. I would see why they're 7.5-point favorites. I still like the Spurs, though. Again, this Spurs team, there's just something about them. They're gritty. They can get after. They can cover these games. This is not going to be just a walk in the park for the Lakers. I mean, these teams know what's at stake. Now you're playing for the prize, right? So I would see Spurs here maybe covering this number, this 7.5. Lakers, of course, this is one of those things that they take serious. LeBron, he likes the NBA Cup. They want to get their guys, and he wants to get his kids some money, man. If the Lakers win, they're all getting an extra $500,000 each player. So, shoot, of course they're going to go for it. So, Lakers here, I'm sure they'll win. I don't know if they're going to cover that 7.5 though. I'd be on the Spurs side, just because again the Spurs defensively, I think they'll give the Lakers a little bit of problems. Of course, without Wemby though, that's going to be a lot different than what it would look like. But I think they can keep it within that 7.5 number there. Maybe an under. That's a pretty high total there of 240.5. I think an under would probably be the way I'd like to lean as well on this game. Just kind of one of those where I think it's going to be a defensive type of game. And yeah, I'd lean the under there. So that's it for the NBA Cup. Again, not tons going on today. Did want to get on here anyways and just talk some ball because we do that every Tuesday through Friday regardless. So we've got that today. NBA Cup, that's going to be fun on Tuesday when we get to watch that championship, depending on, who it is. Even this weekend is going to be kind of fun to watch those, semifinal matchups. Magic Knicks there, and then, maybe Thunder Lakers, whatever it may be. But it's going to be pretty fun to watch those. So we'll move on from NBA Cup and we'll get into college basketball because that's really what we're here for. That's what has been leading us. That's what's taken us to the promised land, is that college basketball. So let's look currently and see what games we got, ones that we might want to talk about. We're going to do this a little different. We're just going to talk through them together here. There were ones that kind of stood out to me. So the first one was Liberty, NC State. NC State favored here by 12.5. Both teams, solid records. Liberty 6-2, NC State 6-3. Now Liberty, they can shoot from three. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the nation, hitting 43% from three, and they shoot a lot of them. With that, if NC State is not careful, Liberty can really find their rhythm and give them a good game here, especially with that pace. They're going to want to slow down the pace. Liberty will. NC State, I'm sure, is going to want to push it there. But what could hurt Liberty, and something that we've talked about a lot too, is that free throw shooting. That is an issue. If Liberty is not hitting their threes and they're forced to drive or get other difficult kinds of shots and maybe get foul calls, they're going to struggle from the free throw line. They may be missing, it looks like he's a game-time decision, Colin Porter there. Fourth best scorer for that team. I mean, that dude shoots 40% from three. He leads the team in steals. So any sort of like defensive advantage they had is kind of going to be, diminished there with him if he's not able to go. We'll wait and see if there's going to be more action for him, or more of an update on him as he's day to day. Again, he missed the last game. They're saying he's day to day, just kind of not certain what's going on with him. So I would lean Liberty though on this big number, this 12 and a half. I just think they can shoot the ball really well. And yeah, I mean they've had a few games on the road. Vermont there, they won no problem 79-73. Bradley, they lost that one on the road. So I'm not worried about them going on the road here, technically, to win this game or to at least cover. I mean, they've kept it close, right? Even in their losses, lost to Towson, lost to Bradley, it's within that 10 points there, within that 12 and a half number that we're looking at as well. So I would lean Liberty. NC State, I mean, did not look good against Auburn, did not look good against Texas. They struggle against just these kind of mid-major programs. VCU, yeah, they won, but they won by 6. All right, recently UNC Asheville, they win that one by 12. That one, they should have really blown them out by more there. And even if we just kind of look at what they allowed 42% free throw shooting from, or I'm sorry, 3-point shooting from UNC Asheville. Again, that's Liberty's strong suit is a 3-point shooting. I would see Liberty here covering that 12 and a half. That's going to be my lean, maybe even the play that we give out here at the end. Another one that's interesting, New Mexico and VCU. So New Mexico 7-2, VCU, we just talked about when they played NC State. They're 6-3. VCU, as everyone knows, very good defensive team, right? They're going to run their slow pace. That's kind of what they do. And then you've got on the other side, New Mexico, who runs a pretty quick pace. Really, both teams are probably going to want to just get up and run. We know VCU is going to put pressure on the ball. And when we look at New Mexico, they struggle with turnovers a little bit, which, that VCU full court press may be an issue. But, one of the things that New Mexico struggles at that we talked about with the other game there, or I'm sorry, New Mexico is good at, is their their free throw shooting. And that's one of those things with free throw shooting in college basketball is going to be a big factor. VCU only hitting 69% of free throws. New Mexico about 74% there, much better free throw shooting team. That's a big number, that double digit, 10 and a half. And if you look at what New Mexico has done, right? They beat Santa Clara. I'm high on Santa Clara. I like that Santa Clara team this year. New Mexico routed Santa Clara. They lose to Nebraska by double digits there by 12. Not a big deal. They beat Mississippi State. So they have no problem playing, stepping up in competition. That 10 and a half, that's a big number. It's one of those like, man, why is it like that? And even with VCU on their side, Lazar Jokovic, he's dealing with an ankle injury. He was limited last game. That's their third best scorer. He's adding rebounding. It's a 6'11" guy that can shoot from 3. If he's no good and he's not able to go for any reason, I know he was limited last game to only 10 minutes, but if for any reason he's not able to go this game, you're getting a great number with New Mexico at the plus 10 and a half. So that's one of those. Another one, double-digit dog I would lean in favor of is New Mexico. Looking at the rest of them, we do have an early game. Norfolk State, Baylor will not be anywhere near that one. Maybe is Michael Vick coaching the basketball team too? We won't be looking at Norfolk State. Not going to be looking at Baylor either. If anything, this would just be an under. It's very tough for these 11 o'clock early start games to really, get any scoring, especially when you're asking on a Wednesday here. I would just lean an under. I don't know, maybe even under first half. It just seems like one of those games that might be a slow start, or maybe Baylor to just cover that first half. It's kind of a weird game, 11 o'clock. standalone early one here. Again, I'm not sure I would be anywhere near it. The only way I would look for that game would be Baylor first half to cover that number. They're probably going to be, I'm not looking at the number right now, but I will pull up Profit X just so we can kind of get an idea. But Baylor first half, I'm going to assume it's around like a 14 if they're laying 26. If I can get that number up here, it's not working for me at the moment. So, it is what it is. We'll see if we can log back in and get the current updated number. But yeah, I would lean that first half for Baylor or an under. It just feels like a spot. Early game, trying to get up for it is going to be tough for Norfolk State there. So I would lean Baylor here first half. Going through the other games, Idaho, Notre Dame, no interest really in that one. Maine, Boston, not really interested in that. Western Kentucky and Marshall, small number there. I would lean Western Kentucky. Not quite sure why Marshall is favored there by that 1.5. Besides being at home, I would lean Western Kentucky there. Charleston and South Florida. South Florida, we know, we've talked about, they can score the ball defensively. I don't think Charleston is going to be able to stop them at all. I would lean South Florida on this big number. It looks like they're laying a 14.5. I'd have no problem laying that with South Florida there against Charleston. I don't think Charleston's going to be able to keep up at all, especially with that pace that they run. Their three-point shooting is awful, 26% from three. There's just nothing that I think Charleston is really going to be able to do to keep up with South Florida, that pace and that scoring. So I would lean, this is one of those favorites I would actually lean now today is this South Florida with that 14.5 there. Let me see. I really want to get that number for Baylor, see what that one's at. But it's struggling over here. There we go. All right, let's pull up Baylor there, first half. See if they've got the first half. Yeah, we're looking at a 14.5. No, on Profit X, there's no number on it, so we can set our own odds on that one, which is great. I would set that 14.5. I would set it at a minus 110, minus 105, somewhere around there. But that's the way I would lean for that game, that minus 14.5, if you want to get involved early before or as soon as the show ends. Looking at the rest of the games, Boston College, UMass. I like UMass here, slight underdog. This team, they've shown they can score. We were on them earlier this year whenever they took on, I believe it was Lemoyne that we had them on, or I can't remember which game. There was a game we had them on, and UMass, they can score here. I like this team. I know they haven't played anybody great, right? Maybe Oregon State might be the only one that they've played that's somewhat a competition. Boston College, they haven't done anything special either, right? They haven't stepped up in competition, played any great schools. I would just lean here, UMass at home, maybe even on the money line. I know it's a short number, maybe about like 120. You're getting about a plus 120. I would lean UMass here for that one. As we scroll, Minnesota, Purdue, Minnesota coming off that win against Indiana. Purdue coming off that just awful, disappointing loss against Iowa State. This is one of those I would kind of take a quick pause and say, man, laying 20.5, that's a lot. I would not be surprised now if this is a down spot for Minnesota, a get-right game for Purdue. Purdue blows them out by 30 to 40 points. I would not be surprised to see that happen here today. It's just one of those spots where Minnesota's going to come down off of that high, beating Indiana. Purdue looking to get back after that embarrassing loss. I would lean Purdue here, minus 20.5. Excuse me, I have no problem laying that number with them. Probably won't do it. Probably not going to be a play. But if you want to get action on that game, I would lean Purdue minus 20.5. Houston, Jackson State, big number, 40.5 there. Yeah, I'll pass on that, but again, another one of those, I'd have no problem laying the 40 on them with Houston there. Continuing to scroll down, I mean, we've got Duquesne, Boise State. Maybe want to have some interest in there, but I don't think so. There's nothing that stands out on that one. And then Wisconsin, Nebraska. Nebraska 9-0, finally ranked here, number 23. Just came off a big win against Creighton, right? As a 5.5-point favorite. They end up blowing out Creighton by 21 there. We know Creighton's not that good because we talked about in the offseason how they lost a lot of their scoring from last year, right? They're still trying to understand how their team is going to gel together. Wisconsin, on the other end, I mean, they've played some tough competition. They've played BYU. Providence is solid. TCU, they lost there. Marquette, we know Marquette's always going to be pretty decent too. So Wisconsin, with this small number, I like Wisconsin here against Nebraska. One of those things that, you know, you kind of tend to see and find is once these teams get ranked, they struggle for some reason after they get ranked. Now, I would say that's more especially true when they go on the road after being ranked. Nebraska is here, you know, at home, so it's not that much of a issue. But, you know, with that number 2.5, I think Wisconsin can keep this one close. I'd probably lean Wisconsin with that really small number there. Then just, you know, they may end up winning outright there against Nebraska. So I would lean Wisconsin for this one here. Other than that, no other games really stand out here. Nothing else I'm seeing. So let's get into what the play is for tonight. Now that we've got ProfitX pulled up. So the one I'm liking here that we're going to get back into, that I'm going to give out, and we're going to talk about, that we talked about this actually as the first one, is going to be that Liberty NC State game. So let's get down. I want to find that current number for Liberty there. Looks like we're getting about a 12.5. We can get plus 100, minus 101 there. So let's take Liberty. That's going to be the play, plus 12.5. And that's minus 101. That'll be the free play. Again, we're going to hope that Colin Porter there does play. Again, I know he was questionable. He's one of their scorers. He shoots from three very well. I think this team can keep pace with NC State. NC State loves to allow opponents to shoot the three. So we're taking Liberty there, plus 12.5. Again, the rest of the plays will be posted over on sportbetextra.com. Go get your free 7-day trial. After that, go sign up for a week, go sign up for a month, go sign up for 3 months. Have some fun with me. Let's win. We're going to start streaking for December now. We started yesterday with that win. We're going to continue to start winning and just go from there. So good luck today with all your bets, and let's continue. Have a good one. I will see you guys tomorrow.